Yeah, so I think, like you say, you've got to, if you think, for example, you could have a putting drill, or when you practice, just try and, if you're telling me you do half an hour or whatever, well, just try and just do a bit more, or just like you say, there's always that little bit more. It's like when people say, I don't know, you hear Muhammad Ali when he used to do sit-ups, it's like, well, he didn't count them, he just did it until he couldn't do any more. It's the same thing. I mean, golf is repetition, and you get better from knowing what you do. Like I said, there's no right or wrong, so there's no perfect putting stroke, there's no perfect technique. It's right or wrong, and you've got to understand what you do. So I would always say, keep some stats, know where your game's at that particular time. Work on your course management. So go out by yourself and play a few holes, and try and maybe play 2 balls and play the hole 2 different ways and see which one worked. So then when you play that next competition, it's like, well, actually, I don't need to hit driver here because, or for example, you play off 9. When you amateur golf, it's all about handicap. So you've got 9 shots on when in the 18 holes. So maybe on some of the harder holes, actually just make sure you don't make a double. If you make a bogey, it's absolutely fine. So, but you might end up just keep it in play. Even if you lay up on a par 4, at worst you're going to make this bogey, but you might get up and down for par. You never know, kind of thing. Whereas you just keep the high numbers off the card, and you'll be amazed at how much easier it seems to then get around.
I think that's a great one. That's a great bit of advice.
Yeah, like for me, it's the same thing as, say, I hit a little fade, so I don't feel as comfortable drawing it, kind of thing, because I get a little bit flippy in my hands when I try and do that. So I work on doing that. So if a pin is on the left side of the green, it's not a good pin for me. So I just play it into the middle of the green and accept. I might make a long putt, or I'll just try and make par, but I don't want to short side myself. Whereas a right pin, I can actually aim at the middle of the green and trust that my ball might, if it stays straight, but it might get close to the pin. And if it goes right at the flag, and then I've just hit a bad shot, and I can accept that. But it's understanding, like you say, when to attack, when to not, and what level your game's at in order how you're going to play that round of golf. So I think that's a big thing for anyone, and people can always kind of just try and think a little bit more. So
fantastic one. Cheers, mate.
And actually, the third tip, which not many people think about, it might be the 4th or 5th tip, but I think it's the most important thing in the world. I'll ask you a question. So,
here we go.
How long does a competition on a Saturday take for you? How long does a round take?
At my club, I'll be looking at sort of just over 4 hours, so 4 hours, 5 minutes.
Yeah. So you're playing for 4 hours and 5 minutes. And how much time do you spend hitting the golf ball?
Well, probably less.
Not actually swinging, hitting in terms of when you hit the golf ball. How much time?
Probably 20 minutes.
About 3.5, 4 minutes. 3.5, 4 minutes, something like that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So you're out there for over 4 hours, and you spend less than 5 minutes actually hitting the golf ball.
Yeah.
And when you're practice, how much is technical compared to actually working on your mental game?
90%.
Yeah. Whereas actually 4 hours of your round is all what's going on in between your ears.
No, definitely.
And people just don't think about it. And like you said, I mean, my father-in-law today called me up, and he played his first ever competition at his club. First ever competition. He's played golf for ages, but he'd never played in club competition. He just kind of played society golf, and so loves golf, but plays his own way. Anyway, played today. First competition, he's off 18, birdied the first hole, gross birdie.
Fantastic.
And he called me up, he's like, I couldn't believe it. I birdie. I thought, here we go, I'm going to win all this. Then he went 9, 8, 7. And it's like, because all of a sudden he's got one hand on the trophy, and he's like, do you know what I mean? You've just calm down. It's you've got to, everyone says it is so cliche, but you actually have to just focus on that very shot you've got right there. Like you say, you can hit a bad shot in the trees. There's no point reacting to it, because you might hole the next one. You never know.
Yep. No, definitely.
Basically work hard at the mental game, read the books. It's the most important thing in golf. It really is, especially putting when doubt creeps in. So really important to spend a lot of time on the mental game.
Well, the mental game is actually something I've actually started looking into the last sort of 4 or 5 months. Been working with a performance coach. He's actually based in Dubai, but I have regular chats with him. And he does talk a lot about that sort of stuff. Like you said, in between walking from shots and how you react after a certain bad shot, and then how you interact with the actual fellow competitors as well. And actually walking around, and like you said, just getting yourself back in the right frame of mind to then hit the next shot. Don't worry about what's just happened. Just move forward.
Exactly. You can't change it, can you?
No. So
there's some massive things, and I think they'll really help. So
great stuff. Thank you very much for that.